If you were thinking about becoming an appointment setter in high ticket sales, watch this video first because 99% of people who try it end up failing, and it's not because of the reasons that you may think. It's not because high ticket sales is oversaturated. It's not because you need loads of experience when starting out. It's simply because majority of people follow the wrong strategies on a day-to-day basis. So in this video, we are going to expose those improper strategies and uncover the right strategies that you should be following. Now, I get it. Why listen to me? I'm just another person on the internet spewing information about high-ticket sales. If you don't know me, my name's Jared Lund, and I have been in high-ticket sales for about 2 years now. And over that span of 2 years, I've worked for some of the biggest names in the industry, such as TJR, Andrew Pipkin, and a few others. And in that amount of time, I've been able to earn well over $5,000 per month just with appointment setting. And these strategies that I'm going to explain in this video is exactly what allowed me to achieve those goals. So I'm still actively in the space. I'm not a guru that is telling you to pursue high ticket sales when I'm not even in high ticket sales myself. So this has come from 2 years of blood, sweat, and tears, actual hands-on experience, a bunch of knowledge that has been developed in this time. And I want to share this with you early in your stage so you can avoid all the mistakes that I made in my journey. All right, don't mind the change of scenery here. It is absolutely freezing in Colorado, so I hop back here in the office to finish up this video. But to get back to the more important things, you truly have to understand what you're doing wrong in order to understand what to do right. And I see mainly 6 key factors that hold people back from being able to find any sort of success in the high tickets kind of sales space. So we're going to dive into each one of those and really uncover both sides of it. What that looks like, what you're doing incorrectly at this point, and what to do properly. So hopefully you can make those adjustments as needed. So the first thing I see a lot of beginners do that completely kills their momentum and holds them back from being able to find any sort of success with high ticket sales is that they only apply to a very small amount of positions. There's a million business offers out there in info product businesses that, you can apply for, and you really need to take advantage of that. Volume negates luck. The more opportunities and more roles that you apply for, the higher chance that you actually get hired and even get to the opportunity where you're able to get on an interview. And I've kind of covered what to kind of go over as you are taking the steps to get on the interview in some prior videos. Go check that out. But more importantly, it absolutely blows my mind that some people get into this space and they only send 10 outreach messages and they only apply for 10 positions, and then they just kind of roll over and die and they get burnt out and they lose motivation. And it blows my mind that some people have that mindset, because you cannot expect to get a return or get a position or an opportunity to get on a position if you only apply to 10 offers. Like in my early stages, I was doing 10 plus a day. I see people do 10 within a month, and they, just have every reason to blame high ticket sales versus themselves. They say, oh, this space is oversaturated. Oh, this is a scam. I'm just going to go back and live the life that I don't want to live. And that's just ridiculous to me. So first issue is only applying to 10 jobs in total, maybe not even 10, maybe less than that, maybe 15, whatever it may be, when in reality, you need to be applying to at least 10 positions a day. Like bare minimum 10 positions a day in order to see a return and actually get a position or an opportunity to get on an interview. You need to be doing as much outreach as possible. Number 2 is having a terrible, immature kind of profile. When you're applying to these jobs, obviously they're going to check out who you are. They're going to click on your profile. They're going to see the content that you post, what you're interacting with, things like that. Like your profile is literally a digital business card. It represents who you are. And if you're posting stupid content and stupid posts about getting drunk with your friends, all the partings, like whatever it may be, all the political bullshit, like nobody cares about that. That is instantly going to turn somebody somebody away from you. You want to have a professional page where there's nice pictures, like clear pictures of yourself, maybe activities that you're into, hiking, sports, whatever it may be. You want to have pictures like that. If you're traveling, all the things like that, but you don't want to look like a douchebag. You don't want to be posted up in front of some rented cars, like vehicles that aren't yours, like flexing this lifestyle that's not legit. You don't want to have high ticket sales in your bio. Like I personally, if somebody applied to work for me and had high ticket sales in their bio, I would instantly kick them off and not even give them a chance. Like you just want to put yourself out there and kind of show that you're a professional person. You have a clean kind of profile, pictures of yourself, activities, things like that. So most important, do not post stupid content, things that you don't want businesses to see. You wouldn't like highlight the fact that you were drunk last week with your friends when applying to a regular 9 to 5 job. Like it's almost the exact same thing, except now they can see your profile. You're not lying to somebody, or you're trying to put on a front when applying to a job. Like they have direct access to your profile, so you want to make sure that it looks as best as possible in order to give yourself the best opportunity to even have that business owner kind of reply back to you. Number 3, and I see this kind of kill majority of people. Say you even get to a point where you are hired onto an offer. A lot of the times you are not going to be able to perform if you have no market understanding, if you don't resonate with that niche. So to be more specific, say you apply to work with a fitness offer, somebody that's selling fitness coaching. Obviously, they have that proof of concept. They're in shape. They kind of practice what they preach. But if you yourself don't believe in fitness, if you're overweight, if you don't go to the gym, if you don't eat properly, you aren't going to have the conviction and the kind of personal belief in what you are selling. So even if you did get to the point where you were hired onto an offer and you got this position in a fitness offer, if you don't resonate with it, you're not going to find success because you don't even believe in what you are selling. So do as much like market research as possible. You want to resonate with the offer that you're getting on. You want to understand who that ideal client is going to be. You want to understand the terminology. You don't need to be a master in that specific niche because you're only a setter. You just want to understand the terminology, what people are going to ask you, kind of how these people identify for themselves. So you want to understand the type of person that you're going to talk to, and have a way of talking about that specific niche, have the terminology to sound professional because you were actively trying to present yourself as the business owner when you were talking to these clients. So you want to, present yourself as the business owner. You wouldn't look like the business owner if you had no idea what you were talking about, if you didn't understand the terminology, things like that. So this fitness offer, specifically, you want to understand what a calorie deficit is. You want to understand calorie surplus. You want to understand the lingo with lifting and so on and so forth, body types, whatever it may be. So it's very important to understand everything that you can about the market that you're getting into. Number 4 is having zero leverage. And when it comes to leverage, I'm not necessarily talking about prior experience, but more so the process that you take when applying for these jobs. If you're only sending a single outreach message, you're not following up, you're not finding other platforms that you can also follow up with the business owner. If you were doing the bare minimum, you have absolutely zero leverage. So the proper way to go about this is doing as much as possible. Say you do some outreach to a client on Instagram and you don't hear back from them within 24 hours, 48 hours. You're following up. You're also reaching out on other platforms that they run, whether that's a Facebook group, whether that's a school group, like a school community, whether that's any other platform that they are working on. You can send emails. You can do all these things that allow you to do as much as possible in order to get in front of that business owner. Like, they're extremely busy. They're getting a bunch of volume into their Instagram on a day-to-day basis. So you can't just send one message and expect them to read it and get back with you. Like you have to do what it takes in order to continue to boost your message up, keep putting it up, do as much as possible in order to give yourself the best opportunity in order for them to even see your message in the first place. Number five is this unrealistic mindset. People are so impatient nowadays. Like going back to the first point where you think that you can send 10 outreach messages and you're going to land an offer, like that's an unrealistic mindset. You have to be patient. Like for me specifically, it took, I don't know, like 2 weeks to actually build a skill set of appointment setting that can be done very quickly. But it took me a while to actually land a role that gave me a sort of return that I wanted. And even once you do land that role, you might even like not see the results that you want in a short amount of time. So it's all about being patient. You have to work and work and work and work, and then maybe you'll see a result. And even if you don't see a result, you have to continue to work. So you have to be patient and understand that you are building the skill. You are becoming the person worthy of finding the success that you want, even if it doesn't come in the early stages, even if it takes months to land a role, or even if it takes, 6 more months to actually see the result that you want. You just have to be the type of person that's willing to be patient and put in the work and be a purpose driven individual versus a results driven kind of individual. And step number 6 here is probably the most important, and it's staying consistent. If you're inconsistent with your work, if you're inconsistent with your outreach, if you're not sending 10 plus outreaches a day, every single day, you're not going to find results. And say you even do get to a point where you land an opportunity, you are now onboarded for an offer. If you aren't consistent on a day to day basis and not putting in the work as you should, you can't expect to see a result. So even if you aren't seeing the results in the early stages, even if you're not making the money that you want, it is extremely important to stay consistent because you are still building the skill every single day. Whether you're getting 1% better, whether you're getting 10% better, you're still mastering your craft with that consistency. So it is extremely important to keep the mindset where you're going to do the work regardless, whether the results are there or not, because you were building and mastering your craft in the early stages. So, if you are serious about breaking into high ticket sales and you want more personalized guidance on how to give yourself the best possible chances of, finding success in the space and differentiating yourself from the rest, DM me the word setter on Instagram. I'll link it down in the description, and I can give you more personalized one-on-one tailored guidance and get you on track to actually landing a role and finding success versus everybody else.